Better days are coming if no one told you. I hate to hear you crying over the phone, dear. For 7 years running, you've been a soldier. But better days are coming, better days are coming for you. So when the night feels like forever, I remember what you said to me. I know you've been hurting, waiting on a train that just won't come. The rain, it ain't permanent, and soon we'll be dancing in the sun. We'll be dancing in the sun, and we'll sing your song together. And we'll sing your song together. We never miss the flowers until the sun's down. We never count the hours until they're running out. You're on the other side of the storm now, you should be so proud. The better days are coming, better days are coming for you. So when the night feels like forever, I'll remember what you said to me. I know you've been hurting, waiting on a train that just won't come. The rain, it ain't permanent, and soon we'll be dancing in the sun. We'll be dancing in the sun, and we'll sing your song together. 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 Your story's gonna change. Just wait for better days. You've seen too much of pain. Now you don't even know that your story's gonna change. Just wait for better days. I promise you I won't let go. I know you've been hurting.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here as we honor the life and we mourn the death of Peggy Ann Ferguson. I realize that you probably won't learn anything from me that you don't already know about Peggy. Oh, good grief. Well, you're not going to learn about Peggy, I guess, today, are you? No. For somebody in this job, I just made the most horrible mistake that you can make. And since Stephanie and Kyla and Brandon are still smiling, I guess that's okay. Penny. You won't learn anything about Penny you don't already know. Many of you have lived with your whole life. Others of you have got to know her very well for shorter periods of time. But together, I think that we will learn something. My name is Dave Foley, and I have been given the great honor of being asked to be the celebrant for today's memorial service and celebration of life. As I say welcome to those of you who are seated here, I also say welcome to those who will be viewing this online. I am always aware that in a situation like this, I am the person who would know Penny least of anyone. I have met her. Her picture is absolutely incredible. And it shows, you look at that picture and you know there's a woman who was alive. She was colorful. You know that she appreciated beauty. from her girls, I understand that she probably didn't spend a lot of time cooking and learning new recipes, but she really did learn how to do, what was it, craft dinner? Craft dinner and bologna. And by the way, being a child of the 50s, craft dinner was the elite of macaroni and cheese. We hated it when my mother made, the macaroni and cheese in the oven. We couldn't wait to get craft dinner. So, yeah, I understand though. I never did get really keen on bologna. And then there were the lunches. They will tell you that they were probably nutritious and healthful, but they were also simple. Like the time that, and it was more than once, off to school, Stephanie would go with her plain peanut butter sandwich and a Macintosh apple. But grandmas and grandpas, being what they are, away they'd go. She'd go to grandma's beauty salon where she would have lunch, and there would be a banana sliced, put on that plain peanut butter sandwich. And to this day, she says that's one of her favorites. Not so much Macintosh apples, and I agree. Macintosh apples in my book should be in a pie. They should never be. If any of you are wondering what to do with Macintosh apples, you make the pie. I'll take care of it. She did have challenges in life. She was not technically adept. And they tell me, I just have to make sure I have the list here. They found 5 phones, 4 laptops, 3 TVs in her 1-bedroom apartment. And I'm not telling you that she had 3 or 4 Facebook pages. This was a woman whose life was so great she had to be 4 people. And she would think that her phone was running out of storage, so instead of going to get an SD card and put it in, and by the way, being technically challenged, my wife says technical idiot, I didn't know you could put SD cards in until I read this. So instead of doing that, she'd go and get another phone. I think maybe I've bought a couple of phones I didn't need to as well. She had many friends growing up here in Moose Jaw. Some of you are here today. And her kids tell me that people would know them and they wouldn't have a clue who they were talking to because their mom talked about them so much that people thought they knew them, and not always the truth. High Park Towers. Put your hand up if you're from High Park Tower. Yeah, there you are. That was where my mother lived. High Park Tower is a building, right? But High Park Tower is so much more than that. High Park Tower is a community. And you discover that if you try to get away with anything, because everybody knows what's going on there. They gather downstairs for coffee and to watch who's coming and going and who gets mail and who doesn't, and yes. But in all seriousness, High Park is a true community. And she enjoyed that community. She lived there the last 5 years. She completed, I don't know how many diamond art projects. And her kids want me to say to you, you'll find many of them displayed in the Harvey room where we will be going for the reception later this afternoon. Please, if you see one that you really, really like, you can feel free to take it as a memory. I meant to put my name on the back of one and I forgot. Oh, well. There are so many of them there. I never knew. I'd heard about diamond art. I had no clue what it was. So you see how much I learn just by being here? Anyway, those are there. She loved doing those. Oh, she loved just as much going for coffee with her friends. She loved watching TV. In fact, by the way, she probably drank a way lot more coffee than she should have because she did like it so much. She
tell me to hook her up to an IV.
So, yes, there you go. Make sure you get all you want, eh? She loved her kids. She loved her kids. She loved her grandchildren. It was apparent to any who went into her home because of the many pictures throughout her apartment. All the wall space was plastered with pictures. She loved her whole family. And I met someone today, and I'm sorry I can't just see where that person is, but I said, "Are you part of the family?" "Oh, I'm a friend." He said, "Yeah, one of Penny's family of the heart." She would open her heart and bring you in, and you remained a loved part of her life. We're going to take a moment. Oh, I should just make a couple of housekeeping announcements. First of all, you all received a copy of the memorial card as you came in, and you will see that the family has said if you would like to make a donation in her memory to the Moose Jaw Humane Society, the information is there. Envelopes are available in the foyer as you exit from the chapel and go across to the Harvey room. If you need help sorting any of that out, just speak to any one of the funeral home staff and they will be happy to assist you. Also, we will be going directly to the cemetery for the committal service following this memorial service here. All of you are invited, if you wish, to attend. Just a couple of words of advice and instruction. We do form up to follow the funeral coach as we leave from the west doors of the garage. You just pull in behind us and follow us out to Rosedale Cemetery. Now, we don't have permission to ignore traffic laws. So you will need to stop at lights and so on. But be assured that we will not begin the committal service until all of the vehicles have arrived and you are present. For those of you who cannot attend that, you are welcome to wait here in the Harvey room. The reception will follow the committal service, but while you're waiting, coffee and tea will be available to you. Lunch will be ready when the family returns. One simple COVID-related announcement. When you go to the lunch, would you please, before you pick up any of the lunch, sanitize your hands? It will be right there and you will be able to use it. And we ask you to do that each time you come up to the lunch table. I think those are all of the announcements. Penny's family, especially the girls that I spent a little bit of time with, are very forgiving, you know. They trusted me. And we talked about doing something right here at the beginning that might help us focus. So, with your permission, normally, I trust in having a very loud voice, but because we have people online, the mic is necessary. We're going to do this. Penny. We light this first candle. This candle is for your courage, Penny. You met so many challenges in your life, and they never stopped you. When others might have been reluctant to continue, or might have been immobilized, perhaps by fear, not you. Your courage shone through. And then, and I get this specifically, was it Stephanie? No, it was Stephanie and Kyla both said this. Candle number 2 is for your stubbornness. Yeah. Did you tell me she got that from her mother? She knew when to draw the line. Well, sometimes she shouldn't have, but she did anyway. Being stubborn is often viewed as a negative trait, but it isn't always, you know. Because sometimes our values are so important that we must stand up and say no. And she could do that. I'm getting old. Can't see. This third candle. At this point, Stephanie and Kyla are a little worried about what I might say. We light in your memory for the times we laughed, for the times we cried, the times we were angry with each other. Goodness, the silly things you did, the caring and joy you gave us. And finally, the fourth candle. We light this candle for our love of you. We light the candle that your light will always shine. As we enter this celebration and share this time of remembrance with family and friends, we cherish the special place in our hearts that will always be reserved for you. We thank you for the gift your living brought to each of us. We love you. We remember you. Music moves our spirits and our hearts. And the family has chosen 2 pieces of music for us to listen to in this service. This first one, I can almost bet, brings a rousing cheer within almost all of your hearts. We're going to listen as Elvis sings Amazing Grace. Please relax, lean into the music, and be blessed.
shining as the sun. We know less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
You know, I can't listen to that song without marveling at the truth of that last phrase that he sang. Was blind, but now I see. Penny sees perfectly, clearly, and completely today, in a way that you and I cannot quite fathom or understand. In fact, the Bible says it's like here we see as in a mirror. Now think of a mirror back then. It would be polished brass or silver, not clear glass like we have today. And it would be a little cloudy, a little uncertain. But you get there and you see perfectly. Back, forth, and now. One of the most beautiful parts of God's gift in heaven. Now, not everything that we learn about people is something we should write down to remember, but you may want to get out your pens and papers and write this down, because, and I'm going to read this directly so that nobody can say that I made it up. And I'm assuming that's all three of them, the kids, our greatest memory of her is her sense of humor. Well, that's fine, and that's good. Actually, that's great, yeah. She had the best laugh, so contagious, you'd laugh so hard because she'd be laughing so hard. And listen, write it down, she'd often pee her pants. Oh, then they also said, sorry, Mom. I know you'd probably not want us to share that, but it's too good not to. I didn't read that far, so I guess I should not have shared it, should I? She had a good heart. Oh, my goodness, there's no question about that. She had a good heart. What they will, they will remember her and cherish her and really miss her. There are so many fond memories that they could have added, but along with celebration of life. We know that there's pain in the separation that life brings. And so, even putting all of these thoughts together, her family has sometimes been detoured and lost in grief. It can be overwhelming. She was young, too young to leave us. But she is no longer suffering physically, and her mind can finally be at peace. Probably the most important words that they shared is, "We love you, Mom." And that love will continue. That love doesn't stop because Penny has moved into the next adventure of life. Because as long as we remember, as long as there is within our own hearts that sense that memory gives of the laugh, of the tears, of the warmth, as long as those things exist, so will Penny. To her children, let me say this. I'm a father, and I can't imagine the kind of pain that my daughter will go through. But I know it will be painful, and that's okay. It's all right, because love sometimes hurts. I can also say this to you, though. It will get better. And that getting better may actually start this afternoon. And I challenge all of you here in this room to remember that while we've started to celebrate here and to remember and to honor and to respect, we're going to continue. We'll go out to the cemetery, taking Penny to her final resting place. We'll move across into the Harvey room where lunch has been made available and where we will be able to sit down with a cup of coffee, perhaps stand with a cup of coffee and share those good stories and memories. That's a continuation. That's a part of why we've gathered. And it becomes a healing experience in itself. So would you please remember to share those stories as best you can with one another and with Penny's family. I guess we come to this moment very close to the end of our time together, when it's hard to face the fact that soon we will stand up and leave. Before we do that, we're going to listen to another piece of music. I love this one. It's called Dancing in the Sky by Danny and Lizzie. Would you listen?
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. I hope you're singing in the angels' choir. And I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. So tell me, what do you do up in heaven? All your days filled with love and light. Is there music? Is there art and invention? Tell me, are you happy? Are you more alive? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky. And I hope you're singing in the angels' choir. And I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. I hope you're dancing in the sky. And I hope you're singing in the angels' choir. And I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Since you arrived.
In just a moment, I'll be speaking a blessing on Penny. But before I do that, you know, we've used the word family a lot here. And that's a good thing. But family is also individuals. And I want to say the names of her closest family members. And as I say them, please let your thoughts and your prayers go to each one of them. She was predeceased by her father, Jack, by her younger brother, Roddy, and her older brother, Randy. She will be forever lovingly remembered by her mother, Gwen. Gwen has lost 3 children. Gwen, you are in our prayers. Her daughter, Stephanie, with husband Scott and grandchildren Riley and Mason. Her son Brandon and his wife Jen. Grandchildren Riley, Brady. Did I say it wrong? Oh. You're not making it easy for me, you know. Peyton, Oakland, and Lucas. Her daughter, Kyla. And Kyla's the baby, and I need to mention that. Older siblings, she needs to be babied. Her sister, Candy, and husband, Vern. Her brother, Terry, and wife, Leslie. And then nieces and nephews, and it goes on. Some of you are relatives of in-laws and relatives of the family. Thank you all, and be assured of our love and our prayers. I invite you to bow your heads and your hearts. Close your eyes, just because these are our final and possibly our most intimate moments here. Let me speak to Penny. Penny, every heart in this room is broken because you have left us. And though we would give all that we have to be able to see you back with us, we can't do that because we know that to be here is to be in pain. We bless you, Penny, for the woman you've been, for the friend, for the confidant, for the prankster, for the mom, well, for the cook sometimes. Penny, you have made our lives richer, and we can't begin to tell you how much you will be missed and what size of hole there is in our lives now. But we bless you on your way. We send you wherever it is that God's taken you with that love and with this simple assurance that one day we will meet again. Amen. And now for each of you, I invite you to go to whatever path God has placed for you, to find in that path and on that journey the peace and the grace and the mercy of God. Amen. Would you please stand?
When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this. When there's no one complaining, there'll be days like this. When everything falls into place like the flick of a switch. Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you don't need to worry, there'll be days like this. When no one's in a hurry, there'll be days like this. When you don't get betrayed by that old Judas kiss. Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you don't need an answer, there'll be days like this. When you don't meet a chancer, there'll be days like this. When all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit you. Oh, I must remember there'll be days like this. When everyone is up front and they're not playing tricks in. When you don't have no freeloaders to get their kicks in. When it's nobody's business the way that you want to live. I just have to remember there'll be days like this. When no one steps on my dreams, there'll be days like this. When people understand what I mean, there'll be days like this. When you ring out the changes of how everything is. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this.